Welcome back to Overkill Reviews, where each week I review a new metal record and tell you what I think. This week is Intronaut and their album The Direction of Last Things. This is a band from LA. They've been around since the early 2000s. Now, if you're a fan of bands like Between the Buried and Me, Animals as Leaders, Meshuggah, if you're a fan of really proficient musicianship, lots of crazy time signatures and polyrhythms, you're gonna like this. It's definitely worth a discussion. The first song I want to talk about is the opening track on the album called First Worms. Now, got to get this out of the way first. There is a crazy video for this song. It's like a guy with a dolphin head who's going from bar to bar, trying to find someone who loves him, trying to pick up a girl that has a bit of a sad ending. I don't want to be a spoiler. Anyway, let's get that aside. It's very different than the song. This song opens with a 7/8 time signature riff. So right out of the gate, you're on this kind of proggy journey. Some heavy vocals, a lot of clean vocals. Now, I know that this style of metal has generated a lot of debate because a lot of it is quite clean. Personally, I like it when it leans much more towards the heavier sound. It's a pretty impressive song right out of the gate, and I think it sort of gives you the entire sense of the whole band's sound and the whole album's sound, really, just in one song. It moves from extremely heavy, guttural, powerful riffing to atmospheric and jazzy passages. So, pretty impressive start. The second track I want to talk about is called Sul Punta Cello. It runs about 7.5 minutes long, which is kind of around the average on this record. So if you like long songs, you're in for a treat. It's by far the most spacious, most atmospheric song on the record. These guys undoubtedly sparking a few during the making of this song and probably this record as a whole. Very Tool-like. They're showing their influences on their sleeve pretty strongly here. Apparently Justin from Tool appeared on one of their early records, so clearly they're a big influence. I think this band is at their best when they're not being too Meshuggah and not being too Tool. They bring it all together and kind of do both at once, and there's not a lot of bands that can do that well, and Intronaut does. The song ends with something very different. It's almost like a call to prayer, a very Eastern sounding vocal moment that kind of drifts out at the end of the song, and I quite like that because it's very different than anything else on the record. The last song I want to talk about is the title track, The Direction of Last Things. This song is all over the place. If you're a fan of sort of verse, chorus, this is not for you. This is an album that you don't know where it's going next, and this title track exemplifies that perfectly. Admittedly left me a little unsatisfied. I kind of wish they would circle back a few times and give me something good twice. Power of repetition for many people is the power of metal. If you like metal that makes you listen hard and think, this is for you. If you like metal that makes you feel something that has more of a visceral impact, I think you're going to be dissatisfied. In terms of ambition, this record is high on ambition. You might even need an abacus to properly understand how these songs are getting put together. Highly cerebral experience, light a spliff, you'll love it. I'm going to give it 1 out of 2 skulls. But let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want you to weigh in on the new Intronaut album. Also, I'd like your recommendations. What albums would you like to be reviewed on Overkill Reviews? Please subscribe to Banger TV so we can take it from here to becoming a full-fledged all-metal digital channel. We'll see you next time.